Basically,
I take the ovary out because that's like a period. Then you could say the rest. So you always take the ovary out. That's what turns black.
so we cooking with cartoon kicks and his pops. His pops Chef Boyardeeing up some salmon cakes. Now, basically, he told me don't take out the bones. You crush the bones because that's where the fish oil and the omega oils are. So that's healthy.
That's calcium for your body, cartilage rebuilding.
Hmm.
Everything in your body rebuild except for your heart and your kidney. So when you eat that, that creates new tissue in all organs.
Yeah, so that's a basic fact.
Now you take and dice up some onion. It doesn't matter, purple or regular, right? And then you freeze the rest of the onion in a Ziploc bag. Okay?
So y'all getting free game from Cartoon Kicks Pops to let you know how to cook, how to save money, how to get healthy, as well as how to store things so it doesn't go to waste. So in turn, you're gonna be saving even more money.
And you leave the skin on, that protects the onion in the freezer.
And there you go.
Now you dice up the onion.
All right, sorry to interrupt, but just so y'all know, all that is a can of salmon and drained straight out the can. There's nothing special about it. He didn't season it yet, so just to give y'all a heads up of what's going on. Now
You drain the salmon because that's the sodium to preserve it,
and sodium is salt basically.
Sodium is too much salt, so that's why you drain it.
And that's what's going to dry out your skin, make you thirsty. You want to drink. You want to be well hydrated because once you're hydrated, your skin looks more natural. Your body reacts to everything. Your kidneys, your liver, all your organs work better when it's in water. Your body is 70% water, so you want to make sure that you're not drying out with all them salts and sodiums. Even though it may taste good, but too much salt is bad for you. That's where the high cholesterol, blood pressure. You got skinny arms in the gut. That's where all that stuff come from. Your neck look like it's having a baby. You know what I'm saying? You want to always be able to, excuse me, sustain a certain level of sodium. You don't.
I paid $12 for this chopper, so I cut the onions up and put it in the chopper. Cause you don't want big onions. Some people don't like onions, so this cuts them down. Make them like White Castle hamburger onions. You know how White Castle onions?
And peep game. You want to invest small amounts of money into getting a higher quality of food. So when you with your lady, you could cook. She don't know you got all this stuff unless she your lady. She just coming in to taste the meal, and y'all gonna do what y'all do after watching movie, Netflix, and chill, blah blah blah. So she's gonna be impressed by how you dice up your onions and your vegetables, whatever the case may be, and not know that you spent $12 on a food processor that will make your things more uniform and more etiquette. Like it looks more prestigious and more uniform basically, because once you using machines like that, every piece of the onion is cut in a certain fashion, as opposed to if you cutting it, then you may not cut them the same length, and you may not be as knowledgeable. Like most of the people who are making these videos for their young men, I don't know if you guys have dads or even moms that showed you how to cook. So I'm just bringing this information to my platform so that way you can save money, eat healthy.
All right, so now you
be able to invest into other things.
You crush the bones first. You split it and then crush all the bones as fine as possible. That's your calcium, your omega oils, your fiber, your protein. And you mash up all the salmon till it's like tuna fish.
So basically, the bones that I used to take out, my pops told me, no, you don't want to take that out. You want to leave all of those things in there because that's where
That's
the
the
protein.
calcium for your bones, for your kids to grow.
Hmm.
All of that is cartilage, ligaments. That's what it turned into.
Yeah, especially if you're young men like 20.
Now you mix the onions in that I just ground up after you crush up the tuna. So I had them on the side so I could get all the bones.
This is salmon, not tuna, but the same things apply to salmon. I mean tuna, right?
No, tuna is different.
Yeah, so
I would bake tuna because tuna is very dry. So you bake it, onions,
to get the moisture out and the flavor.
And now you add an egg. I usually take the cholesterol out.
And when you say cholesterol, what do you mean by that?
You take your fork. You look for a little white thing.
The white thing. The nut, basically. Excuse my French. That's what I call it. I didn't know it was the cholesterol. I just called it the nut. I thought that was the nut that...
Wow, this one didn't have... Oh, here it is, right here.
Basically,
that little white thing.
Make the egg fertile, you know?
The umbilical cord. No, that's the umbilical cord.
Oh, I didn't know. See, you learn every day. My pops is teaching me.
Then I season it with a little Old Bay.
Old Bay. Always remember that Old Bay whenever you're dealing with fish.
Put a little bit of Mrs. Dash, no sodium, because this is your salt taste.
Let me get a picture of that Mrs. Dash.
Garlic and
which one should they stay away from?
Salt free.
Salt free, so it really don't matter
the
which
seasoning
one.
make the deal, right? And then
yeah, my eye's starting to get a little spicy.
Right. Then you put some hot sauce.
Don't forget the hot sauce.
You always shake up your hot sauce.
Always shake the hot sauce.
It settles sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes at the bottom, it's like olive oil. You see all the white cloud at the bottom. If you don't shake your hot sauce before you use it, it's not going to be balanced. You want to balance out everything.
Hit a couple of hits of hot sauce.
Bong, 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 bong. If you're into battle rap, you know what that is. That's the bow. That's what we call that. You hit it with a couple bows, and then you Gucci. And then we're going to come in with the special
wheat flour.
Hold on. This is the whole wheat flour.
And I sprinkle a little bit in there.
Bang, 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 bang.
This holds
the thing together. So you want the egg, the hot sauce, the wheat flour. What else did you put in there? The Mrs. Dash.
Onions.
The onions, the chopped onions. With the onion making machine for like $12. Always invest into a food processor. It ain't gotta be expensive.
Tested box.
Oh, this is it right here. It don't gotta be expensive. I'm from the mud. I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So you want efficiency. You want economic. You want to spend a certain amount that's economical for you, that does the job, and you want to be able to invest into things that's going to make you more money. You don't want to invest into things that have no return value beyond just helping you make things save time. Wash your hands.
For this part.
Always wash your hands. Follow. See, I'm Coach Madden and you do this. This is like when you press square and you playing Madden, and Coach Madden come on and tell you, run this halfback dive. This is what it is. I'm gonna show you how to do this. You know, well, my pop's gonna show you.
Now you get your ice cream scooper.
Ice cream scooper. How much would that cost in the 99-cent store?
$3.99.
$3.99, and you could use it for ice cream. You don't gotta just use it for salmon.
You make a scoop.
Scoop, bang.
You make your salmon.
Bow.
And you kind of flatten it out, but you leave it round.
So that way.
You leave it round because it's the last step. Nope, there's one more step.
Oh, it's one more step before you start frying it. But that's the bow.
Now, when you got onions like this, you kind of push them in.
You don't want the onions to fry on the thing because it start burning.
Burn your grease.
And then your peoples will be like, what the fuck are you cooking in here? That shit stinks. And they don't know that it's going to be the best salmon cakes you ever tasted. It was just you ain't do the process right. Like, you got to do the foundation right. So that way your product and what you reap it'll come out profitable and it'll be good, you know. So just follow these steps and make sure you follow all of these. Don't do half of the steps and be like, they ain't work for me, you fucked it up, because you ain't following directions. Like, you gotta follow directions. Once you follow the directions and you do everything my pops just laid out, it's gonna come out successful, and everybody gonna think you Chef Boyardee. They're gonna be like, my G, like, you need to open up a spot. I'm telling you, these you can sell these for $39.95 a dozen, and you gonna make money. See all these different things, the stock tips, the clothing. I'm teaching you how to tutorial, how to paint, how to cook, how to do these things. So you'll have a palette of different repertoires that you could enforce whenever you need to make money. You know, you could be down and out and you make some salmon cakes for somebody and sell them for $20 and you back in the game to get home. You know what I'm saying? So all of you never know when any of these things that you're learning will be useful to get you out of the shadow of the valley of the shadow of death. But boom, my pops just finished up.
Now you make your salmon balls. Then you make sure your grease is hot. That's the key.
Alright, so you want to make sure the grease is fire. You know what I'm saying? You can't have no I rounds in your grease. You got to have a 3-0 round.
I use olive oil.
Yeah, and make sure you get the yellow olive oil, not the green one. The green one is not the same. Like, you ain't cooking with the right,
you just
right
basically
thing.
coat the bottom of the pan, and that's it.
All right, so boom, I'm gonna turn the light on if I can, so you can see the depths of what's going on. See, so you basically want to just coat the bottom of the pan. You don't want the whole thing to be, because this is expensive. This little bottle costs probably like, I don't know, but it's like $12. But at the end of the day, you want to cook with the best material so it don't burn, it tastes balanced and better. You know, the actual flavoring and everything is appropriate. It don't taste too greasy. It don't burn. Like, the better grease and oil you use, the better temperature when you frying or when you basting or steaming things will happen. See, now we giving you this. This ain't stepped on. See, this is raw. This straight raw. We giving you the non-stepped on. See, this right here, I would normally charge someone, like, I got my housewives. I usually charge them $59.95 for this video, but I'm giving you young men game for free. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a meal that you can impress your lady friend, your mama, your daddy, your kids, anybody you gotta cook for, or even.
Now, I also have broccoli with a little seasoning and butter to go with the salmon cake.
Yeah, because you want to stay green. You know, your vegetables, like my pops always told me.
White potatoes, red potatoes. White potatoes only rotate the crop from sweet potato, white potato to red potato. White potatoes are crop rotators. Have
just
no
to turn the grass, the dirt, right?
It's cold, and when it's cold, after sweet potato, it's cold.
So they can't grow nothing
so
but
they keep the vines alive, and then in the spring they turn them to red potatoes.
So that's the good potatoes.
And that's the best potato.
Alright, see, this is free game. See, my pops is giving y'all too much. I was going to charge y'all for this, but it's free game, you know what I'm saying? You got each one teach one, you know. I'm glad I had a father in my life, so certain people, they may not have fathers, so I'm just trying to give all the information that I've received over my lifetime.
Then you wash the dishes as you go along.
Yeah, and that's key, because you don't want nothing to settle. You wash the dishes while it's still wet or while it's not hard and dried up, because it's going to be way harder to wash the dishes when you let it settle in.
You keep a fork to turn the salmon cakes over, okay? It's easier. And watch, you're going to see, I start at 12 o'clock, and I go around and put them in there, and I put the biggest ones in the middle, the hottest fire. And then when it's time to turn them over, I turn them over 12, the same order.
Alright, so for the kids who got GEDs, when he says 12 o'clock, He means at the top of the pan. So what you do is when you drop in the salmon kinks in, you want to go in a clockwise motion. So that way you know which one you put in first and which one you put in last, and you know when to turn it.
And they cook thoroughly together.
Exactly. And you can have a basic blueprint or time clock. How long do you want to... Well, I'll wait till you get to that point of it. So basically, look at the basic setup of what he got. He got the ice cream scooper salmon cakes that he had with the Mrs. Dash, I didn't see you put salt.
Bay.
The Old Bay, no salt.
Mrs. Dash is salt.
Yeah, so the Mrs. Dash is the salt.
This is your
so
salt.
You don't need
Garlic
Mrs.
and
Dash.
herb. Salt free. This is your salt taste.
That's going to give you the taste, and you ain't going to have all that sodium that make you all thirsty and dry you out.
No salt, no pepper. The Old Bay and the Mrs. Dash combo is with the garlic and the herb give you all of that flavor and taste.
The chopped onion from the onion
without
processor.
having to eat all that crap.
Exactly. So this is clean eating right here. You're going to look like Hercules in 6 months if you eat like this. Then you want
take a
little water to see if the oil hot. It's not hot yet, right?
You know, I want to start popping
and get you a good cast iron pan. Don't be cheap. You know what I'm saying, yo?
This costs about $40.
Yeah, and this
one here is older than Justice.
Yeah, and this right here, I'm 40 years old. It costs $40. I just turned 40, so
I had this all my cooking life since college.
And when you get a cast iron pan, it lasts. And somebody will shoot you in the head for if you mess with their cast iron pan. Because it's something that you could never replace. Like, you could never replace the cast iron pan. I don't care how much you pay somebody. But moral of the story is, get you one of these bad boys, and it'll help you cook anything. Grilled cheese, fish, everything. The next step
is, you get a $3 scraper. So you don't cut up all your potatoes. And you just lightly take the top layer off. It's the front and the back. The front won't work, so you'll know which side to use. And that way you see I'm not wasting no potato. People that use with the knife, half the damn potatoes with the peeling. You see how thin? You just scrape lightly and take the red off. And take the red off.
And that's what's up.
And then after I scrape them, I make French fries from the salmon grease.
From the salmon grease. So you cook the salmon
with
first.
Olive oil. So then you don't have to worry about cholesterol.
So you fry the salmon first and then the potatoes after.
Right.
All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
I'm just showing you how to peel. I'm not going to peel all of them until it's time.
Yeah, so right now, you at like $12 for the processor, $3 for the scraper, and the ice cream scooper is $4. So that's about $19.
$20 with tax.
Yeah, and that's not bad because you're gonna have these devices, and it's gonna make. He's testing the grease.
Now you see the grease sound a little
more poppy.
When you hit it with that water, the last time go.
That's when you know it's ready. So, moral of the story is, you want to basically invest into these little small things, and it's going to make your cooking experience better. It's going to make your food taste better as well.
Another thing, sanitary. People don't want to eat your cooking and look nasty, right? So you always get a napkin, right, to catch the peelings. And then you just boil them up and throw it in the trash. So I'm going to do the potatoes later. I just did one to show you. Once
he gets through the peeling of the potatoes and everything.
Well, I just showed everybody. Then you do like this. Then you take a knife.
And you could also get a potato slicer, a fry slicer.
Oh, I have that.
To make it even easier to actually cut the potatoes so you can save time. Sometimes you forget what the tools you have available for you. Once you have these and you exercise all of these tools quickly, you'll be able to make this meal. Being that my dad is doing a tutorial video, is taking longer than what he would normally do it because he knows what to do and he has to explain it to us. But once you know what to do and you have all these tools, how much was this cost?
This the Lucha $19.99. This is the chopper.
Yeah, so it's $19.99, but you could probably get a potato slicer for like $3 from the dollar store. You know what I'm saying? And or maybe even $1, and that would make your experience way better, more uniform, and taste better because it fries evenly when everything is the same size. You know what I mean? And you use these things. You got the onion slicer. You can even use this to make salsa.
Then you just take your potato, you rinse off your new thing.
And you just bang, bang, bang.
Choose which slicer you want.
So basically, it's different slicing
You just take your potato.
And you just boom. Technical difficulties.
Hold on, too big.
See, this real life. Watch your finger, Pops. Don't cut your finger now. This technical difficulties. See, we real life chefs too, you know? He just took that out the box, so
Cut it in half.
he gonna cut it in half to make it more easy to apply, you know? Sometime in life, you gotta make things easy for yourself. You know, you don't wanna be straining and doing all type of crazy stuff when you can easily just make it more easy to do. All the things on the top. Now see, basically you just do these things and you apply these things and things get done and it be more uniform. You always want to have it the same direction so it's always the same size. And then when you put that in the fryer, it'll be more uniform because they're all the same size and the same length, the same thickness. So everything will be done at the same time and it'll taste better. One won't be greasy while other one won't be half raw, you know? And that'd be the problem because when you don't know any better, you just want to do what you got to do. Just all right. See, now we cooking with grease.
So now you pat your salmon cake, you roll it through the grease, the flour. That's your coating.
Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. 12:31.
Flatten it out a little bit. Leave space.
Leave space. Make sure you leave space. Remember, the bigger ones go in the middle. So you want to put the smaller ones around the borders. It's the process.
Now, cod cakes don't have no meat. This gonna have the same coating as the West Indian cod cake, but you have all this damn good ass salmon in the middle. Now I made them mainly the same size, so it don't matter.
Yeah, because basically you want it to fry the same, and that's why you're using an ice cream scooper instead of eyeballing it, right, Pops?
Yeah. And you also leave your space so it fry around it.
Yeah, so it's nothing right on top of it.
And you flatten it a little bit when you put it in the grease, but you leave it round to put the flour on it.
You always want to leave enough space around it so it could fry evenly around the actual
Then here's the fattest one.
Item.
So I put that in the middle by the heat.
And keep in mind, once the oil is hot, you want to just drop them and do what you got to do.
And you always drop them away from you so the grease splatter away from you.
Away. So you dropping them like this instead of like this. So when you drop it like this, the splatter is going to go that way. You know, these is Pop Duke's tricks. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning too. I'm learning as I go. And at the end of the day, I knew how to make crab cakes. I mean salmon cakes, but not these. These
now
is
look,
different level.
You notice how you see the brown?
Yeah, I see the brown up evenly too.
To the side.
And so that's how you know how to flip it, right?
But they ain't ready yet, so all of them should be that color before you flip them. And this one's gonna be ready.
This one's gonna be the first one.
This one's gonna be ready. So you look at that one. When that one's brown, you flip it, and by the time you flip it, this one should see that one's getting brown. And you just continue the process. That's why I like the fork, because you could flip it away from yourself. Okay?
Yeah, so when you flip it, you want to flip it.
Bring it in, and then you just flip it. So when I'm ready, they ain't ready yet.
And how long would they be cooking?
The brown. The brown I'm going to show you. Going to be perfect brown like fried chicken. So it'll be just like fried chicken. Brown like fried chicken. Now you see the beauty of the cast iron pan. Everything cooks evenly. and it holds the same amount of hot. See the grease around each salmon cake? It's the same amount of heat. That's why I love cast iron pans.
Yeah, it smells so good.
Okay, here. So now, I'm moving closer to the fire. Make sure they brown good. You keep your space.
And the key to this, as you
See now,
said,
you see the brown on the bottom?
you see the difference in between the one that's in the oil and the one that's on top. That's what he wants. He wants the
brown. Once you see the brown come to half, you know it's time to flip it.
Alright, so you start with
the 12 o'clock one. So you move those out the way.
Look at the flip. You flip
it away. Then you mash it flat.
You see that? So now, boom. You see how he's flipping it away?
So the grease don't burn you.
Boom. And that's pretty much the basics. Now I'm gonna pause the video because it's starting to get too long, and you can only put 30 minutes on YouTube. So I'm gonna pause it until we start working on the French fries, and we showing the finished product of the salmon cakes. All right, so it's a key factor that he said once you flip it. What did you say, Pops?
Once you flip it, you try to put them closer to the center of the pan so that they cook all the way up to the other brown portion, so they cook thoroughly.
So you basically want to put them in the middle, basically. So
after you flip them.
After you flip them, so that way it levels off.
And the heat is around the center of the pan.
And you see how this one at the edge is not as much into the grease? So you want to make sure that all of them cook. So when you push them to the middle,
you still keep your space.
You still keep.
So the grease is totally around.
Exactly.
And now, the last step is I take and put a napkin on a plate.
Because you want to drain the
oil. The grease. And then I wrap them in aluminum foil.
So they can stay warm
and that's going to make them tender. So now when you take them out, you look at their color. I usually take them out 12 o'clock, but these are done now, you see? So you just take out the done ones first.
My wife is calling, so I'm going to just pause in this and start a new one once they're done.